Okay, Stephen, let's talk about that coach-bowler relationship a little more. Here I am, I'm comfortable with my coach, I think they're great. They've really enhanced my game and my skills and really got me to where I want to be. But yet now let's back up. How did I get there? How did I realize there was something I needed to fix, and or was it the coach that realized there was something I needed to fix?
Yeah, that relationship between who you're talking about, the coach and the athlete, is very valuable, and making the changes for anything in your game are going to require some steps. There's some things that are going to need to happen, especially in that learning process, those learning stages. One of the first things that's going to happen, that needs to happen between the coach and the player, is somebody needs to observe what's going on as far as here's the adjustment we want to make, or here's why we want to make a certain adjustment, and it needs to be brought to somebody's attention that that's what needs to happen. Maybe the second thing you want to look at is that somebody needs to listen to the communication as far as here's what needs to change and here's why it needs to change, and then the feedback needs to be along the same line of here, this is exactly why we want to make the change and how we're going to make that ultimately a part of the game and make it effective.
Well, that's a great reasoning right there. You know, sometimes somebody will say something to you and go, I really think you need to do this. In your mind, as the bowler goes, why? I don't even understand that. So that's crucial in that explanation as to why we're making this change and what it's going to lead up to.
Yeah, developing that relationship and understanding how to get to that answer and that process quickly is going to make any of the lessons you're going to have, whether it's with a high-level coach, an intermediate level, or whether it's with a certain level of student, it's going to make that process a lot more seamless and a lot more effective in the long haul.
Okay, what else should we be paying attention to during that relationship to find out what's going to get us to our final goal?
Well, you observe and you listen, but then you got to also identify what the issue is. If it's a physical game adjustment, if it's a decision process, whatever it is along the way, somebody's got to identify what the item of concern is. And then once you've developed that, or once you've designed and seen what that's going to be, it's important for both people to understand, like you're saying, hey, this is exactly what we need to work on, and here's why we need to work on it. So developing the item of concern and understanding what that is going to be vital to making the steps move forward as far as the development and stages.
So even though the coach may see something, you don't really have to wait for the coach to tell you something's wrong. As the athlete, sometimes we just feel a little off, or we want to take our game to the next level, and we see what other bowlers are doing that's being successful, and it's up to the bowler to approach the coach and say, hey, look, I feel like I'm missing out, I need to incorporate this into my game to be a little bit more, basically productive. So really, it goes back to that communication, but you really touched on something really important, the plan. After we decide all this and go through where we're going to be, we have to put a plan into motion.
Yeah, you have to, especially once you've got that decision process made. Developing that plan is going to be really, really important when it comes to just the overall success of the plan. If you just got together and decided this is what we're going to change and we weren't both on the same page with it, it would be a lot harder for us to figure out how to get to the end result. Develop the plan, make sure that it makes sense to both of you, the coach and the student, and that it's effective, that it's something that you feel like is going to be effective. We can get to this goal, and here's how we're going to get there. So once we get the plan together, there's really only one thing left to do. We got to make the change.
Excellent. Well, don't forget, when you're working with your coach, it is a process, but it has to be open communication, get your plan, and don't forget, be patient, because sometimes changes take a little time.